Alright, howdy everyone. Welcome to the review for Crownfall Treasure 3. This is the last of the Crownfall Treasure review videos. And, yeah, the big Crownfall video should be out next week sometime. Almost done with it. Finishing touches. Well, not really finishing, but I have a large portion of it done. Anyways, yeah, let's start with Raven Harvest for Shadow Fiend. Made by Herx, or Hyrix. I still don't know how to pronounce that. This one does something interesting by introducing blue into Shadow Fiend's color here. Which, it does stand out. Like, you look at the set and the blue is, like, right there in front of you. It stands out against the red and the gold and the black. The red, gold, black, that's like a whole traditional combo. You can never really go wrong with it, and I don't think it goes wrong here. I like the circular shape language that you see, even on like down here on his wrist. He moves around a lot, so it's kind of hard to see it. Even on his shoulders and then his head, where it's kind of like a focal point of the set of why he has like a magic like floating orb above his head. There is some disconnect though. This set is called Raven Harvest, but there's not many bird-like things about it. Like these kind of look like feathers-ish. That's kind of it, really. There's not really much bird theming here. Shadow Fiend has another bird theme set that works really well for a title like that. I think this one is alright for an SF skin. I think it's up there in terms of quality. He has better ones than this, but he definitely has worse ones than this. This one I'd say is slightly above average, if I had to give it a rating. And next, we got the Tome of Infinite Terror for Bane, made by Kung Fu Panda. So, this is a pretty interesting one. Bane doesn't really have a lot of skins, let alone a lot of good ones. For this one, it's kind of hard to say. I love the horns and the teeth. The horns and the teeth on this set are so darn sick. Especially with the feathers at the back. I love the head. The one thing I don't like is the fact that they gave him eyes. They're very small, but you could see eyes right there. I mean, the fact that Bane doesn't have eyes is like one of the coolest things about his character design. I really, it would take a lot for me to enjoy a Bane skin that gives him eyes. I enjoy the back tentacles pretty well. I kind of like the direction they're taking Bane in with this, where, you know, outside of the eyes. But it's almost like a humanization of him, where, you know, he has like a sword or a weapon that's on his like belt. And he's wearing like clothes, like he has a belt, and I guess this is like a robe, and he has a book as well. Definitely an I can't talk today. Definitely an interesting direction to take Bane in, but I feel like they could have gone farther with it. Like he has these robes covering his bottom half, but why not go further? Why not give him a shirt or a vest or something to go with it? You know. I feel like there's a lot of missed potential with this skin, but it looks alright, and again, he has a better set. But you know, this is a good start. I would love to see some more Bane skins though. Doesn't get enough love. And next we have the Rose of Restule for Queen of Pain, made by Graph. First thing that you notice when you look at this. The wings, the texturing and detailing, and the way they move, it's so good. It's so high quality. The way that the petals are like compiled on top of each other, and they move as if they were like rose petals, and how they are massive. They are the first thing you look at when you look at this set. I like the dress. The dress has very nice texturing as well. I like the color. The one thing I don't like is the hair. I feel like pink just does not work on Quap at all. It either should have been a red to match the wings, or just keep it black. I don't think pink works well. It looks worse on the Arcana, if you ask me. But other than that, this is a pretty decent set. Works well with the Arcana. I wish we could have the wings on the Arcana. Once they add like the they did it with Juggernaut and Pudge when they got their collector's cash sets, where you can equip the Arcana like under it, and not have like the Arcana cosmetic on. It would mean it'd be nice if we could see that for like Queen of Pain, But other than that, this is far better than decent. Easily up in her top 10 skins. Does she even have 10? Top 5. Next, we have Mars Gallus for Mars, made by Yastar. The first thing I noticed when I looked at this skin was the bird helmet. And I say helmet because when I first saw this, I had assumed that they had given Mars a bird head. And he wasn't, you know, he was like a bird person. But no, on further inspection, you can see his beard there. This is a helmet. That was pretty disappointing for me, if I'm being honest. I wish they gave him a bird head. That would have been sick. I do like the shield, though. The shield is pretty cool. I feel like there's some disconnect, though, considering that this is all, like, you know, bird-themed, from the feather patterns on the bracer to, you know, to the obvious, you know, bird head. And he even has, like, talons on his feet with the little dew claw there. But his shield has lizards on him. Now, they are animated, and it does look good, yeah. But I think if you made these, like, I don't know, bird heads or bird dragon or griffin heads or something like that to tie it into the whole bird theme, that would have worked a lot better. Again, I think this is a very decent set. I just wish he had a bird head, and I wish these were bird heads as well. And I think that would have made it perfect. Next, we got Spina Infernalis for Treant Protector by Sir Axe. For some reason, this one doesn't have an animation tag on it, despite these little vine things being animated. Like, you know, you see the animation thing on Mars because the heads are animated, but Treant doesn't get that. I don't know. It does look very good, though, this set. I really hope that ping didn't go over into the video. But anyways, I love what they do with this beard. The beard being like these vines and this collection of vines and leaves, and it's like spilling out of his mouth. This feels like a proper like tree monster. It's essentially turning him into a monster. Like, you can see it where he has like bones, like almost as if they were like, you know, as he grew into the bones, or he took over, or like, you know, assimilated them into his being. And also like the asymmetry on the feet as well, with how one has like, you know, bones coming out of it, the other one is just fully plant. I really like this set. I feel like a horror... Well, I mean, he already has another horror-themed skin, doesn't he? But the horror-themed Treant sets, like, they never really disappoint. And I think it's a great thing to explore. We already have... I would say we have a decent amount enough. I would like to see, you know, a new direction for Treant, but the horror aspect of this skin and his other skins is pretty darn good. I like the flower at the top. And like the flower that's about to bloom. Lots of asymmetry in this set that I think makes it really, really good. Easily in his top 10. I keep saying top 10, but like, I don't even know if Treant has 10 skins. Top 3, I would say. Top 3 for this one. And next, we have the Draconic Requiem for Death Prophet by Akiba. This one very, you know, dragon themed, obviously. Even the spirits are little dragons that fly around. Highlight for me is the headpiece and the wings. The headpiece, I think, is great with these, you know, two menacing eyes staring you down with this, like, you know, lofty crown with the hair. I will say the two little dragons arching from her hair kind of look awkward. I don't get what they're supposed to be. Is this made of metal? Is this like spirit energy? I think it would have been cool if they were animated to some degree, but you know, what can you do? As for the wings, I think the wings are a great touch. The one thing I wish we saw with the wings was that they started, like, you know, flapping and flying around during exorcism. That would have like pushed this skin up to like an upper echelon. But yeah, still, I think this is a very decent set. I love the colors. This shade of purple works awesome on Death Prophet Green. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I like it a lot. Alright, next we got Grim Feather of the Grotesque for Visage by Robua. This one turns him into a bird, obviously. And it makes his birds into little eggs. I really like the eggs. The eggs are very cool. As for the set itself, I think this is fine. Again, I think Visage has better sets, but this one is serviceable enough. The headpiece is, you know, really the, pun intended, the crowning achievement here. Again, bird-themed, like the event. It almost looks Aztec in design, as if this could fit into like a the Day of the Dead chest that Valve did a few years ago. I don't know, something about the mask and the red eyes and the crown of feathers just gives that vibe to me, and the weapons as well. Again, I feel like the skin just didn't go far enough with the whole theming thing. Like, there's so much of default visage you see here, and I feel like more could have been done. It's alright, nothing really to write home about, though. I do like the red glow of the eyes, though. Very good at communicating Visage's purpose, in the lore, that is. And last of the commons, we got Potion Potentate for Alchemist, made by Yastar. This one is also bird-themed, you can tell. I mean, he even has like the little Skywrath tassel that you see on Skywrath Mage's helmet and all that stuff. Between the feathers and all that. What I find really odd is, you know, there's all this like detailing on the actual ogre, from the fists to the boots, which also have claws on them, with the little dew claw, just like the Mars set that was also made by Yastar. But then you have the actual alchemist up here sitting in like his boxers, like, you know, he's got a crown and a cape and he's sitting on the throne, but I don't know. This one just seems a bit tonally inconsistent. Like this tells me this is like, you know, a serious alchemist set from the armor. But then I look up here and this just looks, you know, goofy. It looks like he's got like a Muppet on his back. Not really a big fan. Gonna be real for a second. I feel like if they actually gave the alchemist some clothes, this could have looked better. But yeah, not. Not too big on this one. And moving on to the rares, all of which are made by Valve. We have the Barding of Balar for Jakiro. And this one has some ambient effects going up the back and on the horns and of the heads and all that. Again, I think this is another set where the focus isn't really placed on the wings, like most Jakiro sets have been for a few years now, and rather the focus is put upon the heads instead, which look great, by the way. I love the horns on the firehead. This looks awesome right here. The back piece, I will say, I'm not as big on. I feel like the spike should be going the other way. It gives this like a more appealing shape language to look at, if it's like flowing down the back. Considering, you know, even the back spines here are just like, you know, facing downward. Same thing with the horns here. They're facing this way, you know? They're facing to like the left from this perspective. But other than that, I think this is fine. Jakiro has better sets, but this one is decent. Again, if you get this set, do it solely for the head pieces. The heads look awesome here. And it's also bird themed, because like they have beaks. And next, we have the Prophecies of Pavo for Oracle. I'm surprised this one didn't get an animation tag as well, considering the eyes on the back piece are all animated, as well as the egg that he's levitating. I think this one looks awesome for Oracle. Again, the back piece with the scroll as well, it just looks awesome. And I love the color of the feathers that they use for his robe. This is easily one of Oracle's best skins. And yeah, I think Valve honestly just killed it with this. The contrast of the back piece also works really well for the deep blue cool colors here. You know, the writing on the scroll like jumps out at you. The eye, you notice it moving and blinking. Really, really good for an Oracle set. Definitely worth picking up. And next we have the Flock of Avilava for Phantom Lancer. This one, again, I think all the rares are bird themed to some extent, but you know, I feel about this one. Again, this is kind of a new theming for Phantom Lancer that we haven't really seen, where he's in like full plate armor. You know, usually we see him, you know, without a shirt and just like a shoulder guard, right? But like here, he actually has like full on armor, which I think looks good. I wish this part of his legs was covered up Again, if this guy like stood up straight, I think it would look pretty awkward to just have his thighs exposed like that. And I think, again, Valve could have gone farther with this. I think if they gave Phantom Lancer like a helmet that covered his face, maybe still let the back hair flow out, but if they just gave him like a helmet, that would have looked awesome. I don't think we've seen a set where Phantom Lancer has a helmet. I don't see the reason, why not. I mean, his silhouette isn't really affected by that. You can pretty easily tell if something is Phantom Lancer in game, and I think it would have just lifted this skin up to a higher level. I will also say it's kind of strange why they gave him scales on his arm here. It kind of feels like they're running out of things to do for this set. Again, if it's birds themed, why not just give him some feathers? What's the harm in it? Just give him some feathers. Scales, it's more of a lizard thing, isn't it? Again, I don't know. Like, if this didn't have the particle effects carrying it, I don't think this would be a very rare. Yeah, you get a taunt with it. I'm just not that big of a fan. I think they could have gone further with it. And for the ultra rare, we have the Pinions of Piety for the Anti-Mage persona. First thing I like about the skin, not the first thing I noticed, but after looking at it, it really jumps out at me. There are eyes all along the legs here. Now, unlike the other sets, these ones are not animated, which again, this was a huge disappointment. I would even on like the shoulder guards, there's eyes, but they're not animated like in every other set we see. With these eyes of Skriok here, like even these ones are animated, these ones aren't. Again, a lot of missed potential here. I like the color for this one. I think this purple works great on Anti-Mage. I like the weapons a lot too. The way they're at. As for the second style, you really notice the eyes on the legs here. I don't like the glow they gave to the eyes. I felt like that was kind of a strange choice to put on the second style. The one thing I do like about the second style, and I think this is in the first style as well, yeah, there's this glow coming from the inside of the hood, which I think is a pretty nice touch. I don't know if this is ultra rare quality though. Like if obviously you get the persona with it, which obviously they're gonna make it an ultra rare, but outside of that, there's not much of a wow factor here. Nothing really jumps out at you and says. And has that this is high quality, this is unique, this is like no other set in the game, where most ultra rares have that, especially in like collectors caches and whatnot. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Treasure 3. I reviewed. If this is your first video of mine that you're seeing about these treasures, I reviewed this one, the Courier and Treasure 1. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Treasure 3. I think a lot of these skins are worth it. Some of them, I don't know. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts on these skins are in the comments below. I've been Wilson Sticks. Thank you all for watching, especially if you watched all the way through. God bless, and until next time.